With Dead by Daylight's huge roster of killers, it's hard to decide who to unlock first. For those who quickly want my recommendation, here you go. I've broken it up into 4 tiers. The ones that cost real money, the ones that you can get with shards by playing the game, the ones you should upgrade since you own them, and finally killers with a standout perk, but their other perks are somewhat lacking. Now let's get straight into it, starting with the shard tier. The first killer you should unlock is the Artist, as she has some of the strongest perks in the game. Her most used perk is Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. At the start of the match, 4 random hooks will become Scourge Hooks, making their aura white. The first time you hook each unique survivor on one of these, the generator with most progress explodes, instantly losing 20% of its current progress, and it will start regressing. Since this can activate once per survivor, it provides up to 4 uses per match. Grim Embrace will activate when you hook a unique survivor for the first time. Once you walk 16 meters away from the hook, all generators will be blocked for 10 seconds. After you've hooked all 4 survivors at least once, the next time it activates, all the generators will be blocked for 40 seconds instead, and the aura of the obsession will be revealed to you for 6 seconds. This perk rewards killers who apply pressure across the entire team rather than tunneling down one player. Her last perk is called Hex Pentimento. Whenever a survivor cleanses a dull or hex totem, you can rekindle it into a Hex Pentimento totem. This totem will slow down generator repair speeds and healing speeds by 20%, plus an additional 3% for each other active Pentimento totem. Each totem can only be rekindled once, but if all 5 are active, survivors can no longer break them. Survivors will be able to see the aura when they're within 16 meters of these totems, which means you have to be careful as they can easily find them again. Next up is Deathslinger, who has extremely strong information and slowdown perks. Gearhead will activate after a survivor loses a health state for 30 seconds. While active, anytime a survivor hits a good skill check while repairing a generator, their aura is revealed to you for 8 seconds. This may not be as flashy as some other aura reading perks, but it still provides valuable information. Deadman's Switch becomes active whenever you hook a survivor, and the first survivor who stops repairing a generator will cause that generator to be blocked for a whopping 50 seconds. Now, this effect can only trigger once at a time, and it won't reactivate while any gen is still blocked, so it pairs well with any type of perk or playstyle that pressures survivors off of generators and encourages them to just kind of leave that area. Hex Retribution recently got buffed and offers incredible information. Whenever a survivor interacts with a duller hex totem, they'll be oblivious for 60 seconds, and if any totem gets cleansed, all survivors' auras are revealed for 20 seconds. This perk is really good on killers who benefit heavily from knowing where survivors are, like the Nurse. The Plague has 3 unique perks that can offer strong value to different playstyles. At the start of the match, Corrupt Intervention will activate, causing 3 generators furthest from you to be blocked for 120 seconds, or until you down a survivor. This is one of the most consistent and valuable slowdown perks in the game, as it prevents survivors from immediately jumping on gens, and it also gives setup killers like the Trapper the breathing room they need to prepare. Her next perk, Infectious Fright, activates whenever you down a survivor, causing all other survivors within your terror radius to scream and reveal their location. This perk excels on killers with high mobility and strong snowball potential like the Oni, since it lets you immediately shift your attention to your next nearby target without wasting time searching for them. When the Obsession loses a health state, Dark Devotion will give them a 40-meter terror radius for 45 seconds while removing yours. This can cause ambush opportunities and also confuse a lot of survivors if they haven't realized what's happening, catching them completely off guard. The Trickster has 2 incredibly strong perks, with his third one still being a valuable addition to your collection. His strongest perk is No Way Out. The first time you hook a unique survivor, you gain a token. When a survivor interacts with an exit gate, the entity blocks the exit gate for 12 seconds, plus an additional 12 seconds per token, meaning they can't start opening the exit gates for a maximum of 60 seconds. It's one of the strongest endgame perks and is perfect for making a comeback. Starstruck activates while you're carrying a survivor. Any survivor who enters your terror radius will become exposed, and if they leave your terror radius, the effect will linger for 30 seconds. It does have a 60-second cooldown that starts when the survivor you're carrying is either hooked or dropped. This is ideal for punishing hook swarms or getting quick downs on survivors who are exposed. His last perk is called Hex Crowd Control. It triggers when a survivor performs a rush vault through a window, blocking that vault. It can block a maximum of 5 vaults, and if a 6 is triggered, the oldest one will become unblocked. It steadily breaks down strong loop spots and forces survivors to rotate out of safe tiles. The Knight has some great tracking perks that allow you to find survivors easily while defending your generators. His most useful perk is Nowhere to Hide. After you kick a generator, all survivors within 24 meters of that generator will have their aura revealed for 5 seconds. It's one of the most consistent info perks in the game, letting you find nearby survivors and pressure them instantly. Hex Face the Darkness will become active once you injure a survivor, causing a random dull totem on the map to become a hex totem. As long as that injured survivor isn't healed or put into the dying state, the totem will remain active, making all survivors, except the injured one, to scream every 25 seconds and reveal their aura for 2 seconds while outside your terror radius. If the hex totem does get cleansed, this perk will be permanently disabled for the rest of the match. His last perk, Hubris, usually needs other supporting perks, but is strong if you can get use from it. If a survivor stuns you with a pallet, they become exposed for 20 seconds. It punishes survivors who stun you and immediately stay nearby, because if you have Spirit Fury and Enduring, you can break that pallet immediately and recover fast, then put them into the dying state in a second. The Blight offers 2 oppressive Hex perks, along with a perk that lets you insta-down survivors. Hex Blood Favor activates when you injure a survivor, making all upright pallets within 32 meters to be blocked for 15 seconds. This prevents survivors from dropping any nearby pallets and making windows their only hope of during a chase. However, since it's a Hex perk, it is vulnerable to being cleansed. Luckily, his next perk, Hex Undying, helps protect your other hexes. If a survivor cleanses a Hex totem, its effects transfer to this totem instead, and Hex Undying will disappear. It also reveals the aura of any survivor near a Hex totem, giving you some bonus tracking information when they're snooping around. His last perk, Dragon's Grip, comes in play whenever you kick a generator. The first survivor who touches it within 30 seconds becomes exposed for a whole minute. Now, this perk does have a 40-second cooldown, and to get real value from it, you usually need to be somewhere nearby. So unless you're playing a killer who has high mobility, or you're just kind of chilling near the generator, this one will become very situational, but it's going to be definitely noticeable whenever you get value from it. The Demogorgon has great passive slowdown perks that punish survivors for their mistakes. One perk that you will always get value from is Mindbreaker. It makes survivors working on generators suffer from exhaustion and blindness, and the effect lingers for 5 seconds after they stop repairing it. This shuts down all exhaustion perks, especially Sprint Burst, if they try to run away immediately from the generator whenever you appear. Cruel Limits is easily his weakest perk. It activates when a generator is complete, blocking all windows on the map for 30 seconds. But since it activates automatically after a gen pops, you can't really choose when this perk will happen, making it really inconsistent and rarely useful at the right time. His strongest perk is Surge, which activates when you down a survivor with a basic attack. All generators within a 32-meter radius will explode and immediately lose 8% and start regressing. It's a passive gen pressure perk that's great for killers who constantly land basic hits. The Xenomorph offers strong chase and tracking based perks that can help you get quick downs. Rapid Brutality gives you 5% haste for 10 seconds after you hit a survivor with a basic attack, but it will disable your ability to get Bloodlust. So this is really great for players who want fast momentum and don't really rely on Bloodlust to get downs. Alien Instinct reveals the aura of the furthest injured survivor for 8 seconds after you hook someone, and it also makes them oblivious for 60 seconds. It's great for hunting down injured survivors, while also getting some strong information. Ultimate Weapon activates once you open a locker, causing all survivors within 32 meters to scream, revealing their location and becoming blind for 30 seconds. Afterwards, it will go on a 60-second cooldown, so this is really great for flushing out survivors nearby who are hiding, but since it is related to where lockers are on the map, it can be a bit situational. The Good Guy has 2 strong perks, with the third being bit of a meme perk. His first perk is called Friends Till the End, and it activates when you hook a survivor. If they are not your obsession, the current obsession will become exposed for 20 seconds and reveal their aura for 10 seconds. But if you hook your obsession instead, a random survivor will scream, revealing their location, and become the new obsession. This perk's great for mobile killers who can immediately capitalize on the aura reveals and the exposed effect to secure a quick down. Batteries Included gives you 5% haste when you're within 16 meters of completed gen, and the speed boost will linger for 5 seconds after you leave it. Good survivors will typically take you to areas of the map where generators have already been completed, so this can be surprisingly clutch for getting last-second hits or shaving off time in chase. Hex 2 Can Play is a hex perk that activates after a survivor blinds or stuns you twice. When the hex is active, if a survivor stuns or blinds you again, they'll be blinded for 1.5 seconds. It's not going to win you any games by any means, but it can definitely serve up some petty moments for your payback. Nemesis covers all bases with his perks by reading auras, having gen slowdown, and passively punishing injured survivors. Lethal Pursuer shows the auras of all survivors for 9 seconds at the start of the match, and it also adds 2 seconds to every aura reading effect that you use. It's extremely strong for instantly locating survivors and making your aura perks even more effective throughout the trial. Eruption lets you kick a generator to mark it, and if you down a survivor, any marked generator will instantly lose 10% progress and begin regressing. Survivors working on them will also scream and reveal their aura for 12 seconds. It can hit multiple generators at once, but once it does happen, it'll go on a 30-second cooldown. Hysteria activates when a healthy survivor becomes injured by any means. All injured survivors will then become oblivious for 40 seconds. This effect can only trigger once every 20 seconds, making it a solid pick for killers who excel at quickly injuring multiple survivors. Starting with our Bloodpoint tier, the Hillbilly has some simple but extremely effective perks. Tinkerer activates once a generator reaches 70% progress, silencing your terror radius for 16 seconds and making a loud noise notification at the generator. It's great for sneaking up on survivors mid-repair and catching them before they have time to react. Enduring reduces pallet stun duration by 50%. It's especially effective when you pair it with perks like Spirit Fury that can destroy pallets that have been dropped on you, letting you recover faster and instantly hitting the survivor who dropped the pallet on you. Lightborn makes you immune to flashlight blinds and reveals the aura of any survivor who's tried to blind you for 6 seconds. It can be considered a waste of a perk slot, but at the same time, it can lead to some unique interactions between the killer and survivor. The Trapper has 2 perks that can save you crucial time during your matches, while the other one exists just to bully new players. Unnerving Presence makes skill check zones smaller and appear more frequently for survivors within your terror radius. Unless you're going against new players or running an impossible skill check build on Doctor, you won't see much value from this perk, so I recommend you using something else. Brutal Strength increases the speed of breaking pallets, walls, and generators by 20%. It can help you save a little bit of time, but isn't exactly a game changer and is more of a nice thing to have. His last perk, Agitation, gives you 18% haste while carrying a survivor and increases your terror radius by 12 meters. It's a solid perk on its own for reaching basement or corner hooks, but it really shines when combined with other carrying perks like Starstruck. For our honorable mentions tier, let's start off with the Nurse. Her most valuable perk is called A Nurse's Calling, which reveals the aura of survivors healing within a 28-meter radius of you. It's great for checking in on injured survivors mid-match and gaining information that you can act on quickly. The Onryo's perk called Call of Brine activates after kicking a generator, making it regress at 150% regression for 60 seconds. And if a survivor gets on this gen and starts doing skill checks, if they hit a good skill check, you will actually get a loud noise notification at the generator during this time. The Houndmaster has a strong Scourge hook perk called Jagged Compass. When a survivor is unhooked from a regular hook, that hook will actually transform into one of your Scourge hooks. And if a survivor is hooked on a Scourge hook, the generator with the most progress is revealed in a yellow aura for 10 seconds. The Clown has 2 perks that are worth looking at, but one of them usually needs more perks to make it effective. His strongest perk is Bamboozle, which blocks a window after you vault it for 16 seconds. This is great at shutting down loops, forcing survivors to go to somewhere else. His next perk is Pop Goes the Weasel, which activates for 45 seconds after hooking a survivor. The next generator you kick will lose 20% of its current progress, and typically that sounds great, but if the generator doesn't have a lot of progress, this perk doesn't really get much value. So because of that, people usually pair it with another generator slowdown perk. So because of that reason, I can't put this in a higher tier, but it's still worth looking at. The animatronic is fairly new, so his perks might get a little buff or a little bit of a nerf, depending on situation, but Phantom Fear currently makes survivors scream and reveal their location for 2 seconds if they look at you while in your terror radius. This is really great for finding sneaky survivors who are nearby that are trying to hide. If you think there's a killer that deserves to be on this list, or a killer who doesn't deserve to be on this list, please let me know in the comments below. But other than that, I hope you have a great day, and if this video helped you at all, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.